Welcome back to the Wolf of Queen Street podcast. But today on the show, Rich, the Madness Farrell, Oceania Champion Strongman 2022, World Strongest Man Competition 14th, last year 2022 as well. Been in the scene for over sort of, I would say, 10 years, strongman. One of the biggest humans I know. So much more of a story, a bit of a darkness in your path that got you along this journey, but some inspiration of there going into the World Strongman with some injuries and everything else and pushing through to, you know, to striving to what you're trying to achieve in the scene yourself. And welcome, Rich, to the show.
Thanks, Lawrence. Good to be here. Yeah.
That's awesome. So obviously the madness.
Yeah.
You got to explain.
Yeah. Everyone wants to know where that comes from, eh?
Oh, if you got a great one-liner, or you got a great nickname, whether it's bad or good, right? If you were called the clown, I would want to know, right? Yeah. So talk to me about the madness.
Well, that's the best thing about competitions, hearing the madness getting screamed out. Yeah, got a few fangirls and a few fanboys, so it's good. But it started way back when I started getting a little bit more serious about lifting. I had a real mean set-up studio, about 60 squares, and dedicated to lifting, and me and my mate were just there every night lifting, just being idiots in the garage and giving each other nicknames and stuff and dancing around and stuff and talking smack. Yeah. And then we were just role-playing WWE or WWF, that's where it come from. Yeah. And Hulk Hogan and Macho Man, and they come together as the Mega Powers, and that was us. And so I was the Madness and he was the Hulk, and that's where it come from, and just being a crazy little fella that can lift big weights.
I hear Guy behind the camera just reacting. You won't know, but Guy's alter ego's name Alex Savage, and he is a professional wrestler in the New Zealand scene. And where I took my kids in that just last week. What's it, IPW 20? Where unfortunately he had his mullet cut off because he lost the hair match, or what was it called, right? Mullet versus mohawk.
Oh. So, that's all your power if you lose the mullet. Yeah.
So
that's your identity.
Yeah, he's looking pretty sharp with all his hair cut off, right? So 2 weeks ago there was a full mullet back there and everything else. But yeah, they're back in the era. That's why I thought, Guy, you would like that. Macho Man and old Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
They're back in the glory days.
Yeah. Well, I'm starting to get as old as those guys now with the hair going and the beard and stuff. So
just rocking it out, man.
Yeah, just keeping bigger and stronger.
So strongman and that whole scene, it's not something like people just automatically seem to stumble into it. It always seems to have a weird path that people got into it, like realizing, I can just lift a massive tire easily where 5 guys can't do that. Or, you know, how did you get into it?
Yeah, just that's from way back in the day. Just how far do we going to go back? Right back to how it started?
Yeah. So you're just thinking about like what made you realize that, you know, strongman is the way to go, or powerlifting, you know? Or was it just that you realized you go in the gym, things were easier than for other people?
Yeah. It started from the end of a bad marriage. Maybe coming up about 20 years now, 15, 20 years. And it was a terrible marriage, and it ended bad. And then I was working through mental health issues at the time. Through the marriage, I medicated and seen a specialist and stuff like that. So I wasn't in the best mind state. And then once the marriage finished, it went downhill pretty quickly, and I found myself tossing out whether I wanted to keep doing this or whether I wanted to take my life, and I ended up trying that on doing a heroin overdose. I was just hooked on that shit for, I don't know, I can't even remember, it was like a month, 2 months or something like that, just in a deep dark hole, just wanting every time to be the last time that I went to sleep, and it was a very dark, sad, painful time. And then the last time when I actually tried to do it, because every time I was trying to do it, but last time I tried to do it, I was in my kitchen and just standing there in the middle of the day, and I was like, this is the one, let's do it. Bang, took that, collapsed, and when I woke up, it was the middle of the night, like, I don't know, midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was pretty fucked. And while I was sort of coming to on that, I sort of did some realization that life is pretty good, and what the fuck am I doing? My life flashed before my eyes, and thought about all the people that loved me, everything that I had done and everything that I could potentially do. And when I woke up, I was just like, boom. I was just like, this ain't how we're going out, Rich. We're fucking turning this shit around. And I'd like to say from that day, it was a Rocky movie, and I jumped up and I went to the gym and got strong, and I started off like that, but it was just basically, I was not in a good state, so I locked myself away to get off the heroin. I didn't go to rehab. I did my own one because I had a little bit of money saved away, so I could just lock myself in my apartment. I went out and got food, but I didn't go out for anything else. And I just got off that shit and sort of over that time just work on my mental clarity. And I still seen my specialist, obviously a psychiatrist. And we got on the straight and narrow, and I did just a lot of self-help over about a year down there, just watching YouTube videos, self-help, getting into some religions, just seeing what they have to offer. What else? A little bit of science stuff just to try to get my brain working again. And what was that one? Comedy. Yeah. Comedy was my savior. So I
watching comedy or doing stand-up?
Well, sometimes I'm pretty funny. Sometimes I'm pretty funny. And when
she has to say that because she's your partner, right?
Yeah. She's actually funnier than me. Yeah, she's pretty funny. But yeah, before I got real depressed, I used to love comedy, and I was like, I haven't fucking laughed for years. So that was a real important thing for me. And so I just worked on that for about a year, and I got to the point where I ran out of money and I had to move back home. So I was down south in Christchurch when this happened, and moved up to Hamilton with my mum, and I was like, oh, mum, fucking shit went sideways.
How old are you at this stage?
I was about 34 or something.
Back with mum.
Yeah, in Hamilton.
Yeah.
You don't want to be there.
I think
single.
I think that's more of the realization than I know this doesn't sound wrong, but I think that's more of a life-turning situation than waking up from heroin, right?
Single. I think the same thing, mate. It was like, I'd done this year's work to get to Hamilton. I was like, fuck, I got to keep on going, man. I got to keep on going.
I actually got back one step, right? I haven't moved forward yet.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we got to switch this thing up. But yeah, so I was in Hamilton, and that's where I started lifting weights just in the gym. So I was there for about 3 years, and to get my life back on track, I got a job because I hadn't been working for like a year or something. I got a job, and with my first paycheck, I bought a real comfy bed because I had to get sleep with my depression and anxiety and stuff like that. And then my next thing was I have to be able to eat properly. So I did all that meal prep. I bought real good pots and pans and knives and stuff. So I just cook everything instead of eating junk food, which is not good for your gut health and your mental health. And then the third thing was I used to be really into sports. I did martial arts. I ran a dojo when I was in my 20s and stuff like that. So I was like, I have to get back into exercise. I have to get the body moving. So I just went to the gym, and every day, it was not the best, but I was training 7 days a week for a while. I was like, I got to cut back a little bit. So it was like 5 or 6 days, but every day to the gym, I was counting calories with my food. I was counting reps and sets, and I just had that control of my life. And that having that control of something and a little bit of direction just helps with that mental health. And then you start just building on that, and you can go a long way. So I was there for 3 years, and body was starting to look pretty good. I was getting a few ladies, but I had this a goal when I was about 18, 20 that I wanted to move over to the Mount where all the hotties are. So I was like, 34, I've still got it. I'll get over there. So I moved over there. The goal was to lift more weights, find a beautiful missus, and just live the life, just slow it down. And so I managed to get over there, and that's when my strongman journey started over there. So that was about 3 years. So I just stumbled across a strongman competition online, which was up in Otara.
Were you big at this stage yet, or were you?
Nah.
What sizing were you sort of going at this stage?
I'd be somewhere between 90 and 100.
Yeah.
Then, a little bit leaner, skinny legs, big shoulders.
Yep.
You know, every guy's problem. Yeah, and then I just
You're forgetting leg days.
I do leg day every day, and they don't grow away. Yeah. So I just saw this thing online on Facebook. It was a deadlift and log competition. I didn't even know what that was. I was like, Otara, yeah, I'll just go up there. Just jumped in my car, drove up, found this gym in this dodgy little place, and just popped my head in the door. So these massive Samoans smashing massive weights. I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, is this for me? I don't know. I don't do this big weights. And then they're like, get in here, white boy. And jumped in there. I did pretty good on the deadlifts and the log. And I was just like, yeah, this is a bit of me.
Yeah.
This is a bit of me, eh? And so went back home, brought the equipment, and from that day onwards, it was me, strongman.
Is there equipment for strongman? There's no gym. Look, there's no gym equipment for strongman. You guys are like boulders and cars, maybe fridges. Maybe you can take a fridge out the kitchen and go from this size. Honey, I need to move the fridge again, and that's sort of the training.
Yeah,
strongman. You guys don't do dumbbell, or you're not doing curls or stuff like that.
Not
right?
too much. They might do a little bit of that, but it's big stones, flipping massive tractor tires. They weigh like 400 kgs. Carrying a frame with like 400 kgs on your shoulders, it's big stuff. You won't really find that in a normal gym.
No, you won't find that in most gyms.
Yeah, you got to buy it yourself, or find a strongman gym, which is not many of them around. But so I got into that, and I was pretty good. Like not winning, but I was pretty good right from the start. And then just one competition after the other, and then won a couple of big ones, and then it all came to a head last year. My partner's actually boxed for New Zealand, and I was going to the Worlds and stuff, and so we had a massive year of both of us just fully focused on our journeys. And I won one competition at the start of the year, went to the Oceania, which you talked about before, over in Australia. I won that, and that got me a ticket to World's Strongest Man. And between that one, there was New Zealand Strongest Man, which was just my prep for the Worlds.
Which went a little bit sideways, did it not?
It went real sideways. Actually, it didn't go sideways, it went down.
Yeah.
And in event 3, I went to do a deadlift, and I had the flu for the week before the comp, and I was like, nah, I've been training all year for this. I got to power through. So I turned up to the comp with my duvet and my pillow. So between events, I was having a snooze and then getting up, and event 3, I went to do the deadlift, and I got a little bit excited, and I ripped my belt super tight, and that wasn't a good idea. And as I bent down to get the bar, I started to feel me passing out. I started to get blacker and a little swim. I was just like, holy shit, I better get this lift up quick, mate. And I was like, and I got there, and I sort of sat and just passed out and fell back. And then when I came to, everyone was touching me. I was like, well, I was only 300 kgs. Why is everyone giving me the high fives and stuff? I was like, bro, you didn't even get that weight up. So I had to pull out of that comp. And then the Worlds was, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks after.
But that didn't affect the World, right? Because you already had the ticket, right?
No, I already had the ticket.
From Oceania, right? So that goes to the ticket.
Yeah. So it was about 2 or 3 weeks and to the Worlds. And ideally, I would have been doing some lifting there, but I just sat on my ass trying to get better from the flu. And then I had 2 trainings before I went there, which probably ended up being the best thing for me, because I had 3 weeks of rest. And I went over there, and there's some big names over there. Right?
Yeah, I was going to say before you are talking about the world's strongest man that's on TV every rerun for the last 30 years, right? The ones from the 90s and the early 2000s, pulling the mini cars and holding the Atlas stones, and what's the famous one where he's
Hercules hold.
Yeah, the Hercules hold when he shouts out, "I'm going to be the world's strongest man" from the 90s. That's where you were, right?
Yeah. So we're up there.
Yeah. With some of the greats and big names.
Big Z, who's won World's Strongest Man 6 times. You should see his trophy cabinet. It's probably bigger than this room. And then Rano, and then Mark Felix, and all those guys. It was pretty cool. So I was over there, just little old me, and was rocking at about 125 kgs, and I was the smallest person there by about 15, 20 kgs.
And some of those boys, I mean, if you look at the likes of, is it Brian Shaw? What's it, 6'7"? And
He'll be 170 or something like that.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's like that's humans were never made that big, right?
No, there's some big boys.
Yeah, it's like where did they fit another half a human in there? 6'7". What do you say, 160, 170 kgs, right? It's just
because I'm 125 and I struggle to walk through doorways and sit in cars and stuff. I don't know what those guys do.
Have you started to see the video series with Brian Shaw and Eddie Hall? They started doing videos and they keep
I haven't
going.
Seen that one.
And they keep trying to go into. Is it Planet Fitness or whatever the one in America is that you're not allowed to do heavy lifting?
The purple one, yeah.
Yeah, the purple one, right?
Get the burp alarm or something.
Yeah,
it is.
and they keep trying to sneak in and seeing how long they can train in the gym before the manager kicks them out.
Yeah.
So they're doing this whole film series, and there's another one they took a pizza in, and they said they're doing pizza in the gym.
I've been to one of those gyms, and there's not many weights in there.
No, because you're not.
I couldn't even get enough weights to lift.
Yeah, because it's a whole thing. It's for everyone. There's no grunting or there's no heavy weights, and they'll kick you out.
But they did have a pizza table there when I was there, so you got pizza when you left, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah.
So you get to the games, and a couple of weeks out. Are you feeling good at this stage?
Yeah, it was an interesting start to the games because obviously we fly over there, and I had my last flight to get to Daytona Beach, which I missed. And so I had to get the very last flight. And just as I was trying to fly into Daytona, a big hurricane was coming to hit Daytona. I was like, holy shit, this is going to be cool. Because I had a beachfront property and I was going to come straight into the beachfront. So I got there just in time. I think I rocked in about midnight or something. Got to my hotel. I was like, oh, this is going to be cool in the morning. Knock on the door at 8 o'clock in the morning. We got to evacuate. I was like, so what? I just got here. I was like, no, you got to evacuate. And I was like, windy as fuck. I was like, oh shit, this is cool. So I was just straight on the phone for, it was like nearly 2 hours.
Yeah.
But everything was full. And I managed to get one. And like, I don't know if you know Daytona Beach. It's like a sort of an island and you have bridges over to the mainland. And like, those are all shutting. Like, you had to be over there by 2 o'clock, otherwise you're stuck. And I was just like, oh fuck.
Daytona Beach, maybe.
Yeah. And then I was walking out and it was like windy as, and they're like, you got to get your supplies. I was like, I haven't even got a car. So I was like walking the street trying to get supplies. I managed to find a 7-Eleven with a couple of packs of chips and stuff like that. I was like, oh shit. But anyway, I ended up getting over to this hotel, which was another story in itself, man. I was there for 2 nights and it was the shittest hotel that I'd ever been in. There's like gangbangers there and domestics and everything in my room just broken and shit. And I just had to sit there for 2 nights just like, oh, fuck. So I did like lots of TikToks and everyone back home was just like, are you okay? You look like you're going crazy over there. Yeah. You're like delirious funny. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Because when's the comp? A couple of days later? Or
it was 2 days later.
2 days later,
and I was there, 2 nights, yeah. So then the comp had to get compressed from 2 days competing and 1 day final just to 2 days.
Yep.
So we managed to get back there. Not too much damage to the main stuff, just the beach was a bit fucked up with all the wind and stuff like that. So then we got into it, and 1 day of competition was from 8 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock in the morning. The next day was the first day. I was like, oh my God, this is a massive day.
How many events?
4.
4 events?
4 events. So it's supposed to be 2 each day.
Yep.
But then got
So what were your events?
So event 1 was farmer's carry. So that's when you pick up some big handles and you just like run with it. And so that was 150 kgs each hand. And you got to run 20 meters back.
Guy, you can do that, mate. You do that in the wrestling ring, right?
A few shopping bags.
A few shopping bags. Yeah.
And then event 2, no, sorry, I lie. Event 1 was the Viking press. So it's just the overhead press.
Yep.
And that was about 170 kgs. For reps in a minute. And then the farmers. And then event 3 was, what was event 3? Oh, I can't remember.
We'll come back.
Yeah. Event 4 was sandbags.
Yep.
So you had a couple of sandbags, 120, 140, 150.
Drag or lift?
160 onto the shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it would be real easy if that was over 2 days. But being in 1 day, 4 events, 400 athletes,
So is it multiple classes or is it just one class?
There's multiple,
okay, I was going to go, Jesus,
divisions,
I was going to say, there's 400 athletes in the shows that I watch online. There's always like top 30. Like, where the hell is the rest of the guys?
No, there's only like 40 in each division and stuff like that.
So because you were what class were you in?
Open Masters.
Open Masters,
Yeah. And so you got to run through all those.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty long day. But I went over there with like a little bit of a niggle in the shoulder, and the first event was overhead, and I got through that okay. It was fucking heavy though. But I got through it, and I scored pretty good. I was like 11th place. I was like, fuck, that's cool. I'm doing it. All I wanted to do was not embarrass myself on TV. I was just like, fuck, just as long as I can get some reps and look good. And I was like, oh, I'm in the game. I'm in the game. So I did that, and it felt good. And then I went to event 2, which was the farmers carrying 150 kgs in each hand. And I went down there, and this little niggle in my shoulder that I had going into it just gave way. And they ended up tearing 2 tendons in my shoulder and a muscle. And if you watch the video, you'll see I just tried to pick it up and just keep dropping. I just couldn't do it. I was like, oh, shit. I went out the back. They did some magic Mr. Miyagi shit on me. Like, you get back out there.
Is that the Karate Kid with the flames, right?
No, some of that stuff. I was like, it got me moving. I was like, sweet. I remember what event 3 now was. 300 kg deadlift for reps.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I went out to that one, and I was just like, oh, this is a lot of weight. And I tried to pull up the first one. I was like, that fucking hurts, man. I went down, a couple of breaths, pulled up the second one. I was like, oh, I'm going to start crying. And I got the back down again. I was like, oh, I can't do it. Okay, you got to do one more, mate. And I got up to my knees. I had to stop on my knees. I was like, don't cry on TV. I managed to get the third one up. And I was like, I'm done. And, again, obviously, 300 kgs pulling on that shoulder, just fucked it a little bit more. Went out the back. The guys did a little bit magic. They're getting annoyed with me coming back there. And then we had to come back to the sandbags, and I was sitting in 13th place. And you have to get to top 10 to make the finals. And I was like, oh, fuck, this is cool. I'm right there. And the final event was the sandbags, and I had never done any of those weights on the sandbags. Like, I was struggling with a 120 back home, and the first one was 125. And I'm just sitting on the side. I was just like thinking of, Eminem and that "Lose Yourself" song. It's like, if you had one chance, I was just like,
get it in your head there.
You got to fucking do this, man. You got to do this. Just fucking forget about that shoulder. And I just walked out there. You can't see it on the TV, but I was fucking crying. I was like, and just popped there. I smashed the sandbag. I was like, holy fuck, I'm doing it. My arms like killing me. Moved to the next one, smashed it. I was like, fuck, this is heavy. I've never done that. And then I get to the third one. I was like, I can't do this one, but fuck, we'll give it a go. Boom, picked it up, popped it to my shoulder with like half a second to spare. Got the points. And then, this is all flashed on TVs, the big screens and everything. And the way they tell you if you made the top 10 is a table like this with a piece of paper. So everyone's like crowding around like in the movies. And you're like, I was like, oh, where am I? Is this dream going to come true? And I was like, 14th place. I missed out. And I was like, fuck. But then I was just like, actually, it's pretty cool.
Dude,
that's pretty cool.
That's our 14th. I missed out going. 14th. That's fucking impressive, right? If you think of the guys, the situation, everyone else to be there, that's 14th, man.
Yeah, that's amazing. Big dudes there. I was the smallest one. I was just like, look at it. Fuck shoulder. I came 14th. I was like, give me another chance next year. I'm making that top 10. 2023, I'm making it a day. So that's the plan, is to try to get back there this year.
So what do you have to do for qualifying for 23? Or have you qualified already?
Nah. So if you hadn't made the top 10, you get auto qualified for next year, but missed that. But there's a couple of comps over in Australia that you can do. Then there's one online qualifying comp that you could do. But we've got New Zealand's Strongest Man coming up in 10 weeks. And if you win your division in that, you get a ticket.
Awesome.
So the plan is to
You want to go back to the New Zealand one and read it and get rid of last year's headache?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
And smash it?
I got to save face, get back there and smash it.
I got a funny feeling for you. Like, I don't give a fuck about Oceania. I don't give anyone. The New Zealand one's where I want to do it, right?
Everyone just sitting there watching me go for a sleep on my lift. I was like, oh, man, not again. Not again, eh?
But you're talking about that. So you obviously got back to 300 kgs at the World Strongest Man. For a split second, did that flash through your head at all when you were standing there to lift 300 again?
Yes.
Did it come? Did you for a split second go, oh fuck no, please don't do it again?
I did when I was walking out because you're like right on the side, and you got to walk across the stage and up, and then the cameras and the crowd's all in front of you. And I was just in there, don't go to sleep on TV, man. Don't go to sleep.
this is a little bit bigger than the New Zealand champs, right?
Yeah. And I went there and I got that first rep. I was like, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah. I was when you were talking about it, I was wondering, like, I was in the back of your head because obviously it's the exact same weight, right? Was it 300 both? And it's just, you would have gone, oh, again?
Yeah, again. Yeah. But it's like everything, like when you got an injury and you've done the rehab, when you're doing your lifts, you're just like, is it going to be okay? Is it going to be okay? But once you get back into it, it's sweet as, eh?
So you say New Zealand 10 weeks away. So you're obviously just in training at or whatever. Strongman, is that all year training, or do you cycle? How do you? Because I mean, I can't imagine a human body can just keep taking that pound in every week on week, right?
Yeah, like you do your cycles and your training and stuff. So you can't lift heavy all the time.
Yep.
And you usually pick your comps that you want to do, and just try peak for those ones. Usually there's a few qualifiers at the start of the year, and the bigger ones are usually in the second half of the year. So sort of winter's sort of the off season. Yeah. So
big bodies don't move well in the cold.
Nah, but beasts grow in the dark. That's why I love the winter. Just go in there, train hard, and then bust out at the end. Yeah. So I've actually been doing rehab for the last 6 months from that shoulder and over at the Worlds there, and it's just finished right now. So I've missed out on quite a lot of time to try get big and strong, but once you start training again, it comes back pretty quickly. So I'm not too nervous. After about a couple of weeks, it should be go.
So how do you feel like, you've obviously been around the circuit a couple of years and that sort of stuff. How do you feel yourself placed and stuff? Is there a strong competition? It's weird asking, but it's sort of, is it, if you pull your weight, you're good? Or is there like 3 or 4 guys that's knocking at your door or that you've got to knock out the way?
Yeah, there's always sort of top 5 guys that all pretty close. And with strongman, like, it doesn't matter if you lift 400 kgs and the next person lifts 300 kgs, you only get 1 extra point.
Yeah.
So, like, things can sway quite a lot over 5-6 events if you don't do well on one. So anything can happen.
Is there strategy in that though? Is there a bit of, is there a bit of smart? You see all these big burly guys in there. Is there a bit of these boys actually using, showing their brains and sitting down and going, cool, I know that if I try go 1 extra rep in this is going to kill me. If like I do 1 more rep in the deadlift, that's going to take me out on the next event, and I can actually do really well in that event because it's my stronger event, or I've got bigger legs for doing a push or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. You got to take that into account because everyone has their strengths and weaknesses and stuff. Like sometimes you come against someone that's just a real good overhead presser, and you might not be as good, but you can beat them in something else. And it's like, I'm not going to waste all my energy trying to get 10 reps in that when I know he can do 10 just easy as. So you just save a bit of energy for the next one. And when you're picking your lift, sometimes it's like a max weight one. Lots of people like to go for like New Zealand records and PBs and stuff like that, but you just got to see what everyone else is lifting and just lift 1 kg more than them. Like, got to get rid of that ego and just do what you need to do to win each event, and then you get to the end and you might be number 1, eh? And
then get your ticket.
Yeah.
So, is this all a big thing? Is this all funded? Do you get, is there money or sponsor in it to get yourself? I mean, it can't be cheap to get over yourself to Daytona and all of that. Is there a big drive in New Zealand behind this?
No, it's a bit of a smaller sport, like it's not really on a lot of TV in New Zealand. It's massive over in the UK and stuff like that. There's big money over there. But here it's more, you got to raise money, get some donations from people and stuff like that. So my trip over to Florida last year, that was about 8K, eh? And that was just all from a couple of companies gave me some money, and just people I know and people from the strongman community just giving me money, which was real humbling, just to see the money fly and just to see someone chase their dreams. So this year, since I had a mean year last year, I'm actually going to approach a few companies and try get some of that money, make it a bit easier. Now I can just concentrate on lifting.
You can do those old, that sort of late 90s, early 2000s boxing ones. You can put the company's name on the back of your shoulders, right? Can paint it on your, it on your chest. You know, you're doing a deadlift there with the company name across. Yeah,
well, if anyone wants to sponsor me, I can print a shirt with your logos on it and all my training videos and stuff like that. Yeah, so just trying to rally up some money this year, take that stress away and chase those dreams again and make up for last year. Win New Zealand and win the Worlds.
Yeah,
that'd be the goal.
Yeah, you got to put it out there, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no accountability if you're not willing to say, "Hey, I want to be number one."
I am number one. I am the best.
I'm the best. So, obviously with yourself and going through a lot of your issues years and years ago and coming through it and finding a place now, what is something to anyone that's either listening or watching on the show that's found himself a bit astray from their path and a bit lost and stuff, from what you've gone through and you've learned and you've found what makes you happy? Not saying everyone should become strongman, but finding what makes you happy. What can you say to anyone that's listening out there going, some guide points from yourself?
Yes, it's not about becoming a strongman, getting big and strong or anything like that, but exercise definitely helps when you're trying to get through those tough times, just having that control of it and the mental health of actually exercising. But what got me through was obviously the heroin was quite hard to get off, and there was a lot of turmoil trying to get through that. So I was fighting demons myself, and I had no control. I didn't have control of my thoughts, didn't have control of my life. So that was what I thought I had to do. And so I just started the smallest change. You got to make a change, like little steps. Like everyone wants to have a good life and live at the beach and not work and sunbathe and stuff like that. But that's way up there.
Yep.
You got to do all these little steps to get to there. And you just got to appreciate the drive to get one step after the other and just build small things. And all those small things build up to big things. And you can climb out of that abyss, eh? Just one day it was me. One day I just was sitting on my porch. It was last year actually, because I bought a house. Because when I was doing the heroin, I went to zero. I had the house and penthouse and stuff like that, and then I ended up with no money. So I had to climb back again. And then last year, I live down at the beach. Got a beautiful house, beautiful tropical garden stuff. I was just sitting on my porch. Getting emotional.
All good, brother. This is a safe space.
I was just sitting on my porch, and I was like, I've made it. Yeah. I've made it home. Yeah. And it took 10 years, but got there, eh? I didn't give up. Just kept on working towards my dreams, and yeah.
We all deserve happiness. It's one of the biggest things, with me going through what I did, and I fell off the top of the mountain down I went from success to nothing with my brain tumor 4 years ago, and all the rest. We all do, and then my realization, we all deserve happiness, and it's all there. One of the big things is I talk about that there's enough wealth in the world. So it doesn't mean money. It could be happiness. It could be family. It can all that. And there's enough in the world for us to share out there. Just some of us takes us time to get there. And it's so true what you said, small steps at a time. The biggest thing to make a difference to ourselves is taking that first step, right? I say to a lot of people, the hardest one's the first one. And to me, the hardest one was that first one. I got to the point, January 2020, where I had two doors. I had the door out of this life, or I had a door to fight to do something about it. And the only reason I went down the door to still be around was because of my South African upbringing of you fight just to be alive. That's how we lived in South Africa. You had to fight every single day.
Yeah.
And that's what got me through it, and taking that first step out there. And like you said, you saw the change in that. And it's taken 10 years for you to find home. And that's amazing, and it's beautiful, and it's inspiring. And thanks, for, showing that trueness of yourself, that we can stumble, but we can still get where we need to go. It might just take a little bit longer.
It does. And, just the old classic one, got to stop and smell the flowers. That's where the happiness is. You got to appreciate where you are in life and all those steps as you work towards your goal. That's where the happiness is.
Yeah, and I heard something this week. It might sound a little bit cheesy. I was watching Ted Lasso.
I love cheesy.
You love cheesy. I love Ted Lasso, the TV series, right? So, and in the one scene, the bar lady in Ted Lasso turns around to one of the characters and says, "When you get to the top of the mountain, if you ever get to the top of the mountain, lightning's going to hit. But if you're not ready for it, it's going to be bad. If you're ready for it, it's going to be good." So a lot of people want to be on top of that mountain, but if they're not ready for what on top of that mountain means, doesn't mean it's going to be great. And I had that big realization with myself of when I was chasing the success and money. I wanted to be the man on top of the mountain. But by realizing I was going for that, I had no one with me. And they say it's the loneliest place in the world is being on top.
Yeah.
Because you've got no one with you and you've brought no one with you. The best place is going up that path with someone or with people, with your tribe and your community. And whether you get to the top or not doesn't mean anything. It's just that you're going along that with people around you.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's like my journey, because obviously I was by myself. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as I was climbing through life, I was like bringing my friends back into it and collecting that tribe, working towards up that mountain, and collected a beautiful fiance, pretty close to the top of the mountain. And now I'm on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you've gone the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fulfilled my dreams of a 20-year-old getting a hottie over at the beach and lifting weights. I mean, dreams do come true, eh?
Now you can just hunt the next mountain, or you can just sit there and enjoy the beach. Like you said, you wanted, right?
Actually, talking about that mountain, I did a post a little while ago after going to that Worlds, where when I started Strongman, I went to this seminar where Big Z came to New Zealand, and I was like a little 100 kg guy, and he was massive. And I was like, man, what would it be like to lift against him? And then 5 years later, I was over at the Worlds lifting with him, and I got another photo, and I'm like big, not as big as him, but I was pretty big. And I was just like, fuck, dreams do come true, eh?
Because how many titles has he put across? Because he was unstoppable for almost like a decade. Like, he didn't win, but for like a decade, he was just...
He's like podium all the time. Like,
there was like,
I think he might have 6 world strongest man. Yeah.
And it was literally like in that 10-year period. It was all within, there was maybe a couple of gaps. I can't remember the exact stats on that, but he was just one of like the men.
Yeah. And then he just wins all the other comps and stuff like that. Yeah. You should look up online his trophy cabinet. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I would totally go and look for that.
Yeah.
Anything cool, as we're running up to the end of today's show, anything else you want to leave our audience with today, just to think about or consider, for them, any insights?
Yeah. So, like when you're suffering from depression and anxiety and stuff like that, you feel alone. And so everyone like pulls away. But you just got to reach out, eh? Like, people want to help you if you reach out to them. And that's what I hope to share with this story, that someone will hear it and they reach out to someone, reach out to me, family, whatever, and just get some help, and then take that first step, make that change, and just keep building it. Don't give up for 10 years. Yeah.
Till you get to your mountain.
Till you get to the top of the mountain.
Sometimes it takes less years, sometimes it takes more, right?
Yeah.
But it's just that willingness to keep going forward and keep improving, right?
Yeah. Well, life keeps on going, so you have to keep on going.
And like you said, don't forget to smell the flowers.
Yeah, exactly.
It was funny because just an episode we recorded, just actually before the show, we spoke about that. Funny enough, about a lot of people, the challenge of saying to live in today's moment, but some people require to actually live and focus on tomorrow. Because if you don't give them that, if you don't say to you, hey, the target's tomorrow, they can't actually almost get through today. They need to be able to see something down the path.
Yeah.
Because they're struggling, they're stuck here. So if you go to a person that's depressed or anxious and go, "Oh, live today," and you're going, "Fuck it, today sucks. Why do I want to live? Why do I want to live today?" You got to then think about live towards that path, that light at the end of the tunnel.
I promise tomorrow is good. You just got to hold on for one more day.
Yeah.
That was my motto. It was like, one more day, and then one more day. You're just like, oh fuck, I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thanks, that's Rich, so much. I'm definitely going to be looking back at some of the videos and all that stuff as well. Like I said to you, we were chatting offline a good few weeks ago. I remember growing up as a kid in South Africa and watching World Strongman with my dad and seeing all those guys, like originally the Atlas Stones and
that's my favorite.
The Atlas Stones, right? And seeing the guys pulling the cars and the trucks and and all those lifters. It was just superhuman, because they would go and it was almost like they went and search the ends of the world to find these, I don't want to use a really bad word, but like the freaks, and then put on the show, and then everyone went, "Holy shit, this is actually good. Like to watch, this is just amazing," right?
It is good. I don't know why it's not bigger here. We need to promote it more in New Zealand, because
there's some
cool.
big and strong boys in New Zealand, right?
There's some big boys in New Zealand, man.
Yeah, it'll be, so, but I'm guessing it'll take the likes of, yourself to get in there and to knock down those walls for community back here to pay attention.
Yeah.
And it is a struggle because of being a country so small, 5 million people, the focus, goes elsewhere and the money goes elsewhere. So then the smaller players, get left alone. The UFC scene, again, I spoke about it on the previous show, the fighting scene has blown up because of City Kickboxing and Izzy and the boys and the rest of them. They've put on the roadmap so no one can not pay attention to it. So it's literally going out and going, "Fuck you, New Zealand," almost in a way. I'm going to break through that threshold and show the point, and then everyone goes, "Oh, cool. Rich is the man. Rich is the man," right? And now all of a sudden it follows you, or the community comes behind.
Oh, Izzy was amazing. He just talking up like, "Fuck your tall poppy syndrome. I'm the man.
Yeah,
like, fucking love me."
And he backed it up.
Yeah. Like, need more of that, eh? Yeah.
So, last thing, where's the New Zealand champs this year? Where's it been held?
It's actually up here in Auckland. It's going to be down at Wynyard Quarter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I think it's August 5th. I think it is down at Wynyard Quarter.
Man, I want to come watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, come and shout. Can I come with like pink pom-poms? Go, Rich! Go, Rich!
My name's not Rich, it's the Madness. I want you to be a fanboy screaming it.
Go the Madness!
That's it. That's it.
I'm going to get a big T-shirt, give it your face on it, going, "I love the madness."
Whatever it takes. That'll inspire me a little more.
It doesn't look like he blushes much, does he? No? Oh, damn.
I'm quite reserved when I'm rich, but when I'm the
man is you don't give a shit.
I'm just like, I'm the fucking man. Ari and I have got this thing where just before events, she just comes up and she's just like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "I'm the best." She's like, "Who are you?" "I'm the best. I'm the best." And then when I'm out lifting, I'm like, "I'm the fucking best." And just smash those weights.
Just put you on the. I was going to ask if there was a light switch that sort of you switch on.
Yeah.
And then everyone else stays out of your way.
Yeah, I usually have like a snooze between events.
Yeah.
When I had the flu, I was having a sleep, but I just have a snooze. I just like to calm down because I get quite anxious. I still have the anxiety from before, but I know how to control it. And then I just wake up and go out, do a little warm up, just do my breathing. Don't really talk too much smack until after the lift. But when it's coming up to, I'm just like,
in the
Zen
zone.
motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
big human beings just being like, "I'm Zen," right? It's like Kung Fu Panda. I'm Zen.
Yeah, I am. I'm just a big cuddly bear, really, inside.
Yeah. Okay, you keep telling yourself that, right? You keep believing that, mate. But awesome, Rich. Thanks so much for coming on the show and sharing your story today, man. And I'm hoping through the audience that's listening or watching this, your story can be shared and be heard. And a bigger drive towards the mental health and overcoming that, but also helping out the strongman community and more awareness on that, and hopefully it gets people more interested and brings people down. And I'll definitely be down in August for the show, watching it with my pink pom poms and go down.
I love it. Yeah. I just love it if people want to reach out to me, or I'll put them in the right direction if they need some help or something like that. Or I just hope to inspire people. You can do it.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. Thanks so much. Awesome. And to everyone else, as always, at the end of the show, if there's something that Rich said is something that resonates with you, just take a listen of it, have a watch of it. If there's someone else you're thinking about on Rich's story, if something resonates about someone else that you think and going, they might need help, they have a situation, reach out to them, see how they're doing, you don't even have to say, hey, look, do you need help? Go, hey, I've just watched something. You might be interested in it, and send it. It's a sort of an easier way to do it, because some of us just need that help. Some of us need the guidelines. Some of us need to be helped to take that first step. And through these communications and stories, we can do that. And I'm hoping we can make a difference. But as always, thanks for coming over to the show, and hope to see you again.